Hello and welcome to Extra Shot, the programme that puts the digital equivalent of a caffeine hit into the telecoms industry. My name is Ray Lemaitre, I'm the editorial director at TelecomTV, and I'm here to guide you through some of the key trends that were uncovered during our recent Cloud Native Telco Summit. Now you'll be glad to know I am not here alone. With me is my friend and colleague from the near frozen north of England, Guy Daniels. Guy, got your thermals on yet?
Hello again, Ray. Yes, indeed I have. I'm double layered today. We appear to have missed autumn up here completely and gone straight from summer to winter. It's like we skipped the first 7 seasons of Game of Thrones and gone straight to the last one, which is probably not a good thing to do. Winter has come to the north, Jon Snow. Yet, despite that, I am managing to bask in the glow of a very satisfying Cloud Native Telco Summit, and that has really warmed my cockles.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a packed programme today, and that's packed out with contributions from our special guests. And what better way to introduce them than to find out their hot beverage preferences? So let's find out first from Richard Band from HPE what he likes to get when he goes to the coffee shop.
Right, that's an easy one. I'm definitely a coffee fan. Espresso, strong, probably closer to a ristretto even than an espresso.
I like his style.
So do I, and I think this is our very first ristretto lover, so I feel we're now attracting a more sophisticated audience.
Okay, so from Richard, let's move on to VMware's Nigel Stephenson.
I have to say I'm a staunch tea drinker, and a good strong cup of what is now referred to as breakfast tea, I think, commonly, is my preferred beverage.
He likes a nice cup of tea with his breakfast. He likes a nice cup of tea with his tea.
Ray, you should be on the stage. First stage out of town.
You mean I'm not already? Right, showtime is over. Showtime is over. Let's turn to Azhar Sayeed from Red Hat.
Well, I love a good coffee. I love a good roast. Colombian roast is one of my favorites in terms of coffee bean. And I usually take it plain, not no extra, sugar or no extra, flavors in them. Some people like hazelnut and caramel and other stuff, but no, that just kind of spoils my mood on coffee.
Yeah, damn those squirrels. Well, good old Azhar likes a nice plain cup of joe.
That's the best way for a coffee as well. Forget about the flavours and syrups. Keep it simple. Unless we're talking about cocktails, of course.
And let's find out now about the hot beverage preferences of our final special guest, and that's Danielle Royston, TelcoDR.
So unfortunately, I'm a tea fan, because if I drink coffee, I'm even more crazy than I am without it. Caffeine in me just makes me way too hyper. I feel like I've done drugs. So I'm a tea person, unfortunately. So.
Okay, memo to the TelecomTV team when we next have an in-person event. Do not let Danielle near the barista bar. We should have some soothing herbal teas ready for her to take. Okay, Guy, so we've got plenty more names here to add to our containerized beverage function leaderboard.
Indeed, Ray. 4 more additions to the patent-pending and very much proprietary containerized beverage function Helm chart. I've got no idea what a Helm chart is. It just sounds quite good. We'll take a peek at the leaderboard at the end of the show.
Okay, excellent. Right, now let's get stuck into our main topic, which of course is the Cloud Native Telco. So I spoke to Azhar from Red Hat and asked him whether he thought that the global telecom operator community as a whole was really now embracing Cloud Native.
I think the answer varies widely between the tiers of the telecom community and geographies. I think if you take a broad swath, no, they're not, to be honest. Across the globe, broad swath across. But if you actually take, some of the tier 1 community, they absolutely have embraced it lock, stock, and barrel and are doing great amount of work in making progress in this particular direction. I think there's a large volume of tier 2s and 3s that they haven't figured out exactly how to do it, and they're still struggling, to be honest.
Okay, so cloud native is a very hot topic, but still early doors for quite a few operators, it would seem. Guy, do you think does that chime with what you're hearing?
Absolutely, Ray. It is very much still early days. I think there's a danger that we get caught up in all the noise and excitement that are coming from what's a relatively small handful of telcos, all tier ones, who are kind of leading this cloud native charge. And we assume that all telcos are on the same page. I mean, this was our second Cloud Native Telco event, and after 2 years now, I think we want to believe that we're bringing the whole industry with us, but we're not. I think the truth is there's still far too many telcos who have yet to even figure out cloud native. And I'd be interested to see, we haven't got any stats to back this up, but I'd be curious to see if there's like an even spectrum of stages on this cloud native journey, if it's linear throughout the industry, or are we starting to see like a two-speed industry emerge? You know, that's my fear, that we'll have those telcos who get it, who understand it, who are charging ahead with, and even talking about operationalizing cloud native now, and there'll only be a few of those, the big ones, and then we'll have a larger group of telcos who are just struggling to play catch up.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the case right now, but I get the sense that the time frames for going from not even talking about it or not putting it in RFIs and RFPs and actually doing something about it, I think that time is shortening. Sometimes in the past it used to be years for legacy technologies, but things are moving incredibly quickly. And of course, you know, with the investments and whole-scale changes that are happening at the telcos with 5G, with that comes the opportunity to change quite a lot. And actually, you know, 5G is one of the main catalysts for telcos to be able to embrace cloud native. So I asked Nigel Stephenson from VMware just how important cloud native is to operator 5G strategies.
Well, when we look at our customer base and we look at the rollout of 5G, it's becoming increasingly obvious that the move to cloud native is becoming inextricably linked to the rollout of 5G. And in order to maximize the benefits of 5G, then I think cloud native as an underpinning technology methodology is going to become absolutely essential.
Well, that's pretty unequivocal, and I think it does chime with what we've heard from other operators and observers during the summit, but also just in general conversation. Would you agree, Guy?
Yes, we are hearing a lot more comments like this from around the industry. You know, it wasn't that long ago that we were linking edge with 5G. Now it's cloud native as well being linked with 5G. These topics aren't silos. There's plenty of cross-pollination going on. And I think one of the things to remember is cloud native is not a technology, it's a way of working. It's this set of methodologies and practices that have been created that take maximum benefit from how the cloud works. Will 5G have a cloud component? Yes. So does it make sense to apply cloud native to 5G, especially the core? Well, absolutely, yes. So, you know, and especially so if you actually want to make money from your 5G investments. Radical thought, I know, and I think we're going to come on to that very soon.
Yep, no, absolutely. And you know, speaking to operators and observers, clearly one of the key early focus areas for cloud native strategies at operators is the 5G core. So I asked Richard Band at HPE whether you could actually deploy a 5G core that wasn't cloud native, or if cloud native was absolutely essential to that kind of deployment.
Technically, there's the option not to do it. I think commercially, you have to do it. In order to make money with 5G, we need two things. We need speed of innovation, and we need a high degree of automation in order to manage a much more flexible and dynamic network. And I think in both cases, cloud native is absolutely key to achieve, again, both the speed of innovation and the degree of automation that is required to make 5G a commercial success.
Okay, so Richard hit there on one of the key attributes that comes with a cloud native approach, and that is automation. And that's, you know, all of the operators are all over their automation strategies. Guy, automation, this is absolutely critical to all operator strategies, whether it's 5G or not, and we've been hearing a lot about this for a couple of years, haven't we?
Yeah, you just can't escape automation. It's another one of these crucial elements of where telcos need to get to with their networks. Although, as you said, we've been talking about it for a number of years now, so there's still a long way from agreeing exactly how, what, and where it should figure. Which at times is another, bang your head against the desk moment, because there's way too many of those in telecoms. But it comes back to addressing why telcos need to embrace Cloud Native and the whole purpose of the Cloud Native Telco Summit. Cloud Native is like a cuckoo. Now, if you bear with me here comes the analogy. The cloud bird flies into the telco's nest, finds the egg that's labelled old way of working, chucks it over the side and replaces it with its own Cloud Native egg. And with a bit of luck, the telco will adopt the Cloud Native egg as if it were its own. And here endeth the rather unconventional analogy.
Is that what's referred to as cloud cuckoo land? I don't know. I mean, do you like that?
I love that.
Now, the 5G core, as previously mentioned, is one of the key starting points for operators on their cloud native journey. And for some of the operators, they are partnering with some of the major hyperscale operators to take these strategies forward. Now, the relationship between telcos and the large public cloud players, this is a major talking point in the industry right now. So I spoke to Danielle Royston at TelcoDR about whether telcos are adopting the public cloud as part of their cloud native strategies in a way that she thinks makes sense.
So I think, especially this year, we've seen some really big announcements come out with telcos and public cloud vendors. Certainly, Vodafone, Telefonica, and Orange have signed big deals with Google. But then even more recently this week, Microsoft has come out with their Azhar for operators, right? Their carrier grade cloud. So I think they're starting to embrace it. I think one thing that I'd like to see is, everyone's talking about cloud native technologies. And I think a lot of people think that's about, using Kubernetes. And once I put it into a container, I throw it into a box and I'm good to go. And it's a lot more than that. The reason you're going to use the public cloud is for the software that's available out there and the specialization that they offer. So we're at the tip, we're at the beginning. I think they have a lot to learn. I like the start, but I'd like to see more.
Well, there's no doubt about where Danielle would like to see the industry going, but I think it's probably fair to say that she's maybe a little bit ahead in her thinking than many other in the telecoms industry. Do you think that's fair, Guy? I mean, that kind of came out in some of the panel discussions and certainly in one of the live Q&A sessions we had during the summit.
Yeah, absolutely, Ray. Danielle is certainly an evangelist for the telco use of public cloud platforms. And as you said, it's apparent that not all telcos are buying into that yet. I think they'll have to. They've dreamt for a long time of building their own telco cloud, but I think these are just going to remain that. They're going to remain dreams. I think that they ought to give up that battle, host more cheaply and securely with one of the hyperscalers and focus instead on things that matter, like service differentiation and profitability. She's also dead right about this misapprehension that cloud native equals containers and Kubernetes. No, it does not. And if you've got any more doubts about that, just look at some of the panels that we've held in this year's summit.
Absolutely. Well, this whole topic of the relationship between the telcos and the public cloud players, I mean, this is not going away anytime soon. In fact, it's probably not going away ever at all. And it's interesting to see how quickly the relationship between those two camps, who were previously regarded as enemies or at best frenemies, how quickly those relationships are developing. And of course, this theme is going to crop up quite a lot as well in our next two summits, Edgeonomics and Open RAN. And of course, for the Cloud Native Telco Summit, I mean, really, just as the topic is still in its early days, this summit is still in short trousers as well, isn't it, Guy? I mean, this is going to go on for quite a few years yet.
Yeah, it is. This was our second Cloud Native Telco event, and there's still plenty of learning and knowledge yet to share. We're going to be hosting our third event next year, probably still in short trousers, but the topic is going to figure throughout the ongoing monthly series of our DSP Leader Summits. We've got Edgeonomics coming up in just a few weeks' time, and we're following that with the Open RAN event in November, and with what promises to be an incredible lineup of speakers. I'm very excited about that. And of course, we'll wrap up the year with our annual Great Telco Debate, which may be online this year, but we'll still have plenty of fun and no doubt a smattering of cloud native as well.
Absolutely. Great. Well, I'm looking forward to all of that already, of course. So we're kind of coming towards the end of this show now, Guy, and with the hot beverage choices of today's special guests in mind, the containerized beverage function leaderboard must be absolutely rammed by now.
It's practically overloaded. There's no space on the board. We're going to have to really adjust our scalings here, because we are seeing some load balancing. We had 4 new entries from this show. 2 are for coffee, 2 are for tea for 2, in fact. However, our friend Neil McRae does remain the outlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Neil is out there on his own, and he might be there for a while yet, but we'll see. We'll see if we can find any people who drink regularly on Iron Brew all day. Well, I can already feel the urge to go and grind some Vietnamese Dragon Balls already, guys. So I think before you know it, we'll be back with the next Extra Shot program, which will follow the coming even sooner Edgeonomics Summit. So don't miss a minute of any of that. Ta-ra for now.